Hello guys, as we made the video about Napoleon Bonaparte and while I was making the video only for the members, I had an idea that I've not talked about before on this channel, what happened with France after Napoleon got abdicated to Saint Helena and died in 1814, and how did France manage to rebuild and to get to WWI to fight in World War One and World War Two. So now let's get into it. Napoleon Bonaparte's empire collapsed in 1815. I'm sorry, in 1815, not 1814. But that wasn't the end of France's story. Over the next century, France reinvented itself, swung between monarchy and republic, fought bitter wars, and shaped modern Europe until World War I changed everything. This is the dramatic story of France after Napoleon, from Waterloo to the trenches of the Great War. So first, of course, we're going to talk about the fall of the Emperor Napoleon, who actually said himself, no one made him an emperor. He said, I'm an emperor, I declare myself as an emperor of the French Empire. Now, in 1815, Napoleon was defeated at Waterloo. He had very interesting stories. We spoke in the video about Napoleon France, where after coming back from the abdication at Saint Elba, he ruled France for 100 days, but got defeated by the Brits at Belgium at the battle of Waterloo and exiled for good. The victorious European powers restored the Bourbon monarchy. We 18th brother of the executed Louis 16th returned as king, but France was divided. Royalists wanted the old way back, while liberals wanted change. The question was monarchy or republic. So there were revolutions and restorations, and the French Revolution was not the last revolution of France. As I remember in school, when we studied about the French Revolution, we spoke about, I don't remember what revolution, but it was I think it was in 1830s, another revolution that was very important for the French Empire. So let's speak about it. Between 1815 and 1848, France went back and forth. Louis 18 died. His brother Charles X tried to rule as an absolute monarch. Big mistake. In 1830, the people rose up, kicked him out, and crowned a citizen king, Louis Philippe, who promised to be more liberal. But he too fell out of favor when he ignored the poor and working class. And honestly, one thing that's obvious is that France, especially at that time, and honestly, in most time in history, was incredibly hard to rule. And especially the time of the French Revolution, which was probably the hardest time to rule a country or an empire in modern history. Is it modern history? I don't know. But France was very hard to rule, obviously. So there was a year of revolutions, 1 year revolutions. And 1848 is known in history, and there are a lot of things that happened this year. 1848 was explosive for the French. Revolution spread across Europe and France rose again, overthrowing Louis Philippe and declaring the Second Republic. A new president was elected, Louis Napoleon Bonaparte, Napoleon's nephew. He promised stability and glory and turned out to have bigger plans. As I said in the members only video, Napoleon was not the only Napoleon that used to rule the French Empire. And now we're going to speak about one more Napoleon after Louis Napoleon Bonaparte, which was a very interesting leader that we spoke about in the unification of Italy video. And the name is Napoleon III. And the second empire that we briefly talked about in the last chapter of this video. By 1852, Louis Napoleon staged a coup and declared himself Emperor Napoleon III. As I said, we're going to speak about another emperor, another Napoleon emperor. We are, because this guy was not Napoleon, was not an emperor before, but just like his what is, if you're a nephew of someone, what is he for you? I don't know. Just like Napoleon himself, he declared himself emperor, creating the Second French Empire. He rebuilt Paris with grand boulevards, boosted industry, and expanded France's overseas empire. But his foreign adventures were risky, especially in Mexico and Prussia, and he had to be maybe a little bit more careful. Let's learn why. So there was one very important war that's very important to mention here, and it was the war between France and Prussia, called the Franco-Prussian War. In 1870, Napoleon III picked up a fight with rising Prussia, which was a bad move. If we remember, Napoleon defeated Austria and Russia in battles, but Napoleon III couldn't deal with Prussia that easily, which was led by a very famous guy, which we talked about a lot in this channel, led by Otto von Bismarck, crushed France in the Franco-Prussian War. Napoleon III was captured, the Second Empire collapsed, and France declared a new republic, while German troops marched into Paris, and France was not at all in a good place and needed to find a way to escape. And how did they find a way to escape? The situation was terrible. They got there. Just Napoleon III was just captured. German troops marching into Paris. What was the Paris Commune? In the chaos, radical workers in Paris, set up the Paris Commune, one of the first attempts at a socialist government. The Commune lasted 2 months before being brutally crushed by the French army. Tens of thousands were killed or exiled, but the Commune inspired future socialists worldwide. Here we can see another thing. With all those things like the French Revolution or that Paris Commune, a lot of people were inspired in the future that something like that can happen as well with themselves. They can fight against the government, or with the French Revolution they can try to become independent countries, like the countries in the British Empire. Now, the Second Republic fell miserably, if we can say, very badly they fell, but that doesn't mean there isn't a Third Republic. Yes, there was a Third Republic. After the Commune, France became the Third Republic, a new experiment in democracy that would last until World War II, in which France was in the beginning was destroyed by Germany. France was almost completely collapsing until Germany decided to attack the Soviet Union. British joined on the side of France and managed to remove Germany from France. And at the end of the day, France won the war together with the Brits, the Russians, but very crushed in World War II. Now, this lasted until World War II. It expanded education, separated church and state, and built a vast colonial empire in Africa and Asia. But it was also politically unstable, with scandal after scandal, like the Dreyfus affair, which exposed deep divides over anti-Semitism and the army. So in this video, we're going to, of course, mention the road of France to, we call it the Big War, or at least the first big war, World War I. One of the most important battles in human history. By the early 1900s, France felt surrounded by powerful neighbors. I said one of the most important fights, one of the most important wars. Now, Germany by the early 1900s, France felt surrounded by powerful neighbors, which they were. Germany was very strong at the time. Germany to the east, Britain as a rival empire, and British Empire was still very big at that time, almost at its full extent, and they were very powerful. So France started forming alliances, first with Russia, then Britain, creating the triple entity which won in World War II to balance Germany's growing power. Meanwhile, French leaders modernized the army and prepared for the possibility of war. Now, Probably everyone that's watching this video knows the start of World War One. It was the start in the Habsburgs video we mentioned it again, but Archduke Franz Ferdinand got assassinated in 1914. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand sparked and pretty much started the big war, World War One. Now, France joined Britain and Russia against Germany and Austria-Hungary. Now, World War One was not as big as conflict as World War Two, as we can say, especially between those countries. France bore the brunt of the fighting on the Western Front, from the trenches of Verdun, which we had video about, to the fields of the Somme, another video we have about this as well. Millions of French soldiers fought, and more than 1.3 million died defending their homeland. If we think about it, today's French army is a lot more than 1.3 million, and that much died in World War One defending the homeland. Now, in this video, we're not going to mention anything about World War Two. If you want a separate video about World War Two, you can leave a comment. But let's talk a little bit about the aftermath and the legacy. By 1918, France emerged victorious but devastated. They did win the war, but it was a very high cost. Cities and villages were in ruins, a whole generation was lost, but France has helped defeat Germany and preserve its republic. From Napoleon's downfall to the trenches of the Great War, France proved it could reinvent itself again and again and shape modern Europe in the process. Guys, if you like today's video, of course, comment what should the next video be about, and there are going to be more special videos about the members. And of course, guys, like, subscribe, and see you tomorrow.